Okay, a lot to talk about. I'll admit that I'm not the best equipped. Okay, I don't have a full staff or a team. I don't have, I'm not literally out there by myself with this tiny little camera. And getting my way and smooth talking and really showing how passionate I am and trying to get these interviews for you guys when I really have no right to get them. But you know what? I'm not a gaming journalist. I'm just, a personality off YouTube that's very passionate about games, but I didn't really see a whole lot of people really pressing on some of these questions. So, what I'm saying is I didn't have all the research and the legwork done that you guys had here at home at E3. I didn't know all the details from what Don Maddock had said. There was a few things that I could have done a lot better. Reacting on my feet more, but you have to realize I haven't done a whole lot of interviews in those types of situations. And I keep, it sucks because I keep replaying the interview in my head afterwards, and I was like, oh my god, what right here? I could have said, do you want to go to the future, Joe? Do you want to come with me? I was like, yes, I want to come with you, but I also want to own my games, and talk a little bit more about the software licensing policies and all that stuff. So it really sucks. I tried to get confirmation that Microsoft had plans for Steam-like pricing for those who support the Xbox One and wanted to know more about that, but they still refused to confirm it, which makes me a little bit worried because people on the other side are saying, it's not often that retailers or publishers, drop their prices, even if used games are eliminated. You kind of just have to trust them on that sense. So hopefully they will do that in the future, do some Steam-like pricing. I also wanted to ask about participating retailers. That was a question I didn't get to. Participating retailers and what that portion means. Like mom and pop shops, gaming shops are pretty much finished, I think, in my opinion. Or maybe they can opt in this participating retailers. But I also wanted to do, talk about the terms and conditions changing. Does that mean that they can disable all this DRM and stuff like that? Or does that mean that in, 5 years' time, they're not going to allow even the lending or the gifting or the used games? I don't know where that's coming from, but please forgive it. So a ton of other stuff. Again, PR was breathing, they were breathing down my neck. They were furious, like changing positions, trying to get either Larry's attention or my attention to cut off the interview. And so that made me a little bit nervous, and I wasn't able to sort of answer the questions that I wanted to answer. Let me figure out what this is and stop it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what we might have learned. Okay, so used games only at participating retailers and only if the publisher allows it, okay? And then and I asked that question, can I then take a gifted game and sell it used? Or is it done for and it's done? And it seems like it's done for, so it will be erased from whatever database Microsoft is housing somewhere at command or whatever. So you wouldn't be able to play a game, then you're done with it, then you gift it to your friend once, and then that friend is like, okay, I'm done with the game. Let's resell it at GameStop or one of these used game places. I don't think you're going to be able to do that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I took away from that. Let's talk about maybe some of the benefits that he felt was on the Xbox One side. The family circle. Now, this seems legit, and it seems like a really cool feature. They don't have to be blood relatives, it seems. It seems like he was like, people will get creative. I took that as, your friends. And I found out later from the guys that the family share plan allows two people, and we'll call them people instead of family or friends, okay? Those two people on the family plan can play a single player portion of game A at the same time that's in your shared library, and that is the limit there. However, there are still 8 other people on the plan, assuming that you filled those family plan slots. So now those 8 people can then play concurrently while you're playing game A. Those other guys can play game B, so as long as you don't fill up the 2 slots. But you have to keep in mind that this is single player. It's also not known at this time how it will work with multiplayer portions of the game. So, because obviously you don't want to be they don't want us to, buy a copy of Call of Duty and then share with 10 friends. Only one person bought the copy, and all 10 of you gets to play online multiplayer when you only paid $60 once. That's not what's happening. That's not how this is working, okay? Just to let everybody know that. Another really cool thing, it seems, about that is that you can share a game's DLC with family. Through the family share. That means that previously, if you had 10 family members and they all wanted to buy some single player DLC, they would have to buy 10 of them, right? Now in this sharing plan, 10 people only need to buy it once. You only shared amongst all of you, only need to buy it once, and then 2 at a time can play it at any given time, so the rest of the people can wait until those people are done. At least that's the way I understood it. That's the way I was told. So I don't know if it may change, because Microsoft also subject to change. Another cool thing that he said that he believes is in his favor is that your mobile device can be used to authenticate. I don't know if they already have that working, or if that's something that they came up with recently. I think, it's a genius idea. So that 24-hour check once, or the 1-hour check once, can happen through your phone, through your data plan. It should be a smaller file. I'm hoping, obviously, because people have restrictive data plans on here. So if it's a smaller file and it only goes that might be a solution for that. But I do think that there is an exception or a caveat to that there's other things that the Xbox One needs to do online that can't be done through the phone. So I'm not sure if it's a perfect fix. I'll need to research it a little bit more, but you guys need to know about it. Also, the friends list went from 100 to 1,000 to actually about unlimited. It seems as if they've taken care of all the Connect privacy concerns, or at least they've said that they've promised that now you can turn it off and we're not going to spy and blah blah blah. Obviously subject to change as well with that little fine print, but those are the things that he felt was in his favor. Another thing that I also learned separately from talking is, in short, 1 gold account subscription per Xbox. In the past, one of the bigger changes to the Xbox Live is that all users on one console would have to buy gold in order to get online and use it. That way you'd have to sign in as me and use my stats, and I'm like, my brother sucks, he's messing up my stats because we only have 1 gold. But now 1 console just needs to have gold, and everybody's got it on that particular Xbox. So that's what I learned there. So that is another in their favor. But there are a ton of other things that weren't addressed that I wasn't able to get to, and again, these are they're seeming like they're trying to provide us with some added benefits, because they know that a lot of these features are restrictions, or have restrictions attached to every single one of them. And I really believe that, even though, are you a programmer, Joe? Did you program it? No, I didn't program it, and he's right there, so I don't know what is involved with it, but I know that if Microsoft corporate decides that, okay, we're not going to do any more DRM, that, they can disable the 24-hour check, the 1-hour check, you can only transfer it once. It's not something that you create and you can never reverse, is what I'm saying. And then the other thing that we learned possibly from the interview is when I mentioned CD Projekt Red, which is a huge example, because Poland is so proud of that game, and they should be, because that game is awesome, and especially Witcher 3. I have an interview for it later. So I mentioned to them that not only is the system going to be region locked in that area, which I find interesting. The Xbox One is region locked. The PS4 is not. So first, they need to get Poland on the list, but they need to get a lot of different countries on the list, because I had people coming up to me from all sorts of different countries. In fact, I got a magazine from Peru from these guys who write for the magazine. They were really cool people, concerned about the Xbox One. So you got the region locks, but what I mentioned is that what if you guys say that you will work with publishers who don't want to unused games. You say it's up to the publishers. Well, is it also up to the publishers to remove those restrictions of, oh, you could only gift it once, or oh, the infrastructure at only participating retailers, the 24-hour online checks? Can a publisher basically say, I don't want none of that? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't speak for CD Projekt Red, okay? But I just know that the reputation is one of anti-DRM, or one of being proud that we don't put this stuff on our games. And so for people like that, they can always buy the PS4 version or the PC version. But I'm wondering, with what he said, it seemed like he said, we will work individually with publishers to do what they're looking to do. And so in that sense, I think that that they're in a unique position of power, really, CD Projekt Red. They could potentially find out exactly what they are and aren't allowed to do as a publisher with the Xbox's DRM and the used game policies. And they can possibly start a trend of companies, start a trend amongst companies to change Microsoft's mind, or to support the gamer side of it, and start sort of a revolution saying, hey, yeah, Microsoft may be implementing this, but the publishers are basically disabling it. You know what I'm saying? That would be amazing. And so, because obviously they want Witcher 3 on the console, which I guess it's already going to be on the console because they brought them on their stage. But I think that they would listen to CD Projekt Red and companies like CD Projekt Red on the issue of DRM and things like that. So I want to, at this point, pretty much hear from you guys on all the different things. So also, please put together some questions in they have to be very, very well constructed, because what will happen is they will try to deconstruct them, or they will try to misdirect or whatever, if they're not well worded. So if we can work together to come up with about 5 or 6 very precise questions that get really to the heart of the issue, I can send those over there and wait and see if we get a response. So finally, the biggest problem that I had, and I swear it was the very next question, was pretty much how Microsoft and how their policies are pretty much changing the very console, the core principles of console gaming. And it's no longer about owning your games, it's more about game licensing. And that was the problem. That was my greatest missed question, that you can no longer, lend or rent games freely. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I did my best. I did my best with what I had. I knew that I only had a limited amount of time, so I tried to cram as many of them in there as possible. If it seemed rude that I was trying to cut him off in certain points, I didn't want him to be able to take up all of the limited time I had with sort of like a PR type answer. What's funny is I've had people call me a Sony fanboy now, because, some of the comments I've made on Twitter. Can you believe that? It's like I have never even owned a Sony console, and now I'm a fanboy of that system because I'm asking these questions, or I'm just pointing out these things that Xbox are doing. And the reality is that I'm a 12-year Xbox veteran. Okay, I'm a vet, and and I just don't like some of the policies that Microsoft is choosing, and for the third console. And so to me, I'm just trying to clarify basically all the loopholes and all the facets and caveats of how this new system works and how it restricts you, and how a person like me will deal with all of these new features. If you had to buy one, and I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering that too. So I would love to read through your comments, but I think now I'll show you sort of like I wasn't even about to release this. I thought this video was way worse than it really was. That was really nothing, to be honest. But when I first took it, I was just so worried. I didn't want to watch the footage. I didn't know if my sound was working. I didn't know if the lighting was there. It all happened so fast that I didn't know if I was going to disappoint you guys, or I was going to make should I even be here asking these questions? But I knew I should have been there, and I knew I should ask those questions. And I got into the the Tahoe, as we were driving away with my friends, and we were discussing it, and I was just conflicted because, you know, I had basically earned the trust of the PR lady in order to get the interview, and then basically ask some of the questions that I knew that she didn't want me to ask, or that you know, she had tried to pre-vet. So I have that discussion with them. They try to calm my nerves, essentially, and I reveal a little bit more about the situation and what exactly I thought. So if you guys would would like to listen to that, that's cool. It's coming up next. If not, thank you for watching the videos, and I've got so many more video interviews coming in your way. I'm a huge advocate of full transparency, and so I wanted to show you this, the good. I wanted to show you this, the good and the bad. So. But I said that in the interview, I think, you know, at the very end, and I was like, I respect you, Larry, for doing this.
Okay.
But what I'm concerned about is the PR lady. I've never seen anybody look at me so mean, or you know, and I feel like I betrayed her trust by saying I was broadcast, and that, you know, I've seen in multiple countries. But that's kind of true.
It is very much true.
It's very true.
Very much true.
But you know, they take broadcast as television, you know. But you know, I'm seeing more than some shows. I'm seeing more than television.
You are seen in,
maybe.
You can check your analytics. You are seen in way more countries than most broadcasters.
Yeah. So I don't, you know, but I just don't want her to get fired or whatever. That's my main concern. So I would like to say, okay, do not fire this lady, please.
She was nice to me.
But I don't want to name her. Well, actually, I forgot her name. I just know the other girl's name. I didn't even get this one's card. She was nice to me. She's very upset. She was worried about her, you know.
Was she worried about her job?
Well, if she's looking at me, if she's throwing me mean looks and kind of mad and disappointed with the questions that I asked.
I think she's just more worried about, you know, throwing hard questions at the people that, you know, that you're talking to.
Yeah,
she's their handler.
Yeah.
And they are worried about creating PR nightmares.
Right, because Don Matrick had his own little PR nightmare with Jeff Kelly.
Yeah,
exactly. I think that's probably.
Wait a minute. Jeff puts up his video. That gives I feel more, you know, that maybe I should do that too. I should put up my video, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or wait, no. Actually, I heard that video got taken down or something, right? Didn't they actually take it down and no? Well, somebody linked me and they said that they took it down and that you can find it on other channels because people had saved it.
Yeah.
But either way, I think it was broadcast either way, so it was out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
But the problem is I don't want to disappoint my fans because, you know, some fans were like, hey, Joe, you didn't go at them hard enough. They'll be fucking pissed off at me there. But at the same time, you know, I made it seem like I was agreeing with some points because I didn't want to act like a total jerk or a fucking abrasive asshole where they'll just pull me out immediately, you know?
Yeah. You can't
So
go into an interview swinging, dude. You gotta finesse them a little bit. You know?
If you record that intro, just be like, all right, guys, look, I put a lot of effort into this review to get this review for your guys.
Yeah.
And you have to respect these people when you interview them. If you don't, they will not give you an interview. They will stop the interview.
And to be completely fair, Larry was not concerned. Like, even I don't know if it was PR smiling or whatever, PR shrug or whatever it is, but he was like, yes, it's okay, Joe. It's okay. You know, and I was like, man, Larry, you know, I don't want you to think I was ambushing you or anything, but you know, these questions deserve answers to them. You know.
Absolutely.
And but he seemed cool with it. You know, she was a little more upset because I don't know. You know, so hopefully he messages her and says, look, it's cool.
I guarantee you, I've been in that situation before with a PR person. As soon as that interview was done and as soon as your back was turned,
I'm blacklisted.
Well, no,
No, trust me. That's another reason maybe I should put out the video because I know I'm never getting another one. I know I'm never getting another one. So if I'm already gonna never get another one with how pissed off,
might as well get some views.
Might as well. No, it's not about views. It's about putting it out there for people to see the answers.
Well, that's what I mean. When I say views, I don't mean like money.
Yeah.
I mean views to get a seat.
Right.
That's what I mean.
I think you're right, man. It's important for the people to know. You asked the question that the people have been wanting the answer to.
Yeah, exactly. I went there for a purpose. That's why I was there.
That's why you went to
E3. That's why I went to E3, because I wouldn't have been here without all these people.
Yep.
It's just... I just feel so conflicted because, you know, you earn somebody's trust and then, you know, you turn around and
But I didn't tell any lies. That's the thing. She even tried to pre-vet my questions, and I was like, well, I'll talk about the Xbox features, maybe a little bit about the games, and I showed her my paper with the questions, but I pointed to the one that was like, the friends list
General,
question.
yeah.
And, she obviously, at a glance, she can't see all the questions. I think she felt, comfortable. And, I don't know. I wouldn't have got the interview unless I had done that anyway, so.
Well, I guess the question being, though.
I'm sorry, it's just all these other bigger guys get, I walked in there and, what was it, Attack of the Show was interviewing him, and this was like big production everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and there was nobody in there else to interview. I don't even know how I made it in there. Because I'm very nice. I'm very, respectful and trying to, and that's why I'm just so conflicted.
I think you do an intro, you talk about respect and the value of respect.
Yes.
And how, whether it be your fans, you respecting them and them respecting you and your different opinion or the opinion of the fans.
Yeah.
That people need to just respect.
All right.
And I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah, that's it, man.
All
I'm telling
right.
you, you were there as the voice of the people, man. That's
But some people get, oh my God, you should see, some people get pissed off when they hear that. I'm not the voice of the people, okay? I don't want people to think, oh, you think you're for all gamers. I don't say that I'm for all gamers. I'm just there with questions from gamers. It's not all gamers.
Right. Yeah,
and I don't claim I'm a journalist.
Right.
I'm not a journalist.
But you're doing the job of a journalist. You're doing the job that journalists should be doing. But they're not.
Yeah, I guess. That's kind of true.
And I mean, Lord knows, man. I mean, you have the respect of, the fans, of your fans, and others who are not yet your fans, to ask the hard questions.
And I can't let them down. That's the other concern, that I just think that, I'm not the best at interviews, and it's...
No one is. There's no...
It's just, I think maybe I got tripped up on a question or two.
But that shows that you're human.
Yeah.
You're not one of these corporate plastic figureheads that will spout predetermined, prefabricated...
Or just talk about what they want you to talk about, because, they tell you, hey, let's talk about this and this, and, you have to say, well, I'll talk about the features.
I think the other
because these are features.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
features,
this year we've been having too many issues just kind of getting swept under the rug too, man. Like the whole gearbox with aliens and all that kind of crap, and with...
That's what I told her. Yeah, that's what I told her, and I said, I'm just asking questions. You know, is that so bad? And she was like, but we had talked about that we were going to talk about the games and the things, and I was like, well, yeah, but I was also going to talk about features.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is one of those issues that shouldn't be swept under the rug so damn quick.
Yeah.
It's good that it's getting brought back up again, and it's kind of good that Microsoft can't get out of E3 without answering.
I think that everybody should be like, all right, that was cool of Larry to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what?
I think so.
I have more respect for Larry to go in there, because he knew who I was. He fucking knew me because I saw him in Austin, and I said something to him a long time ago which was really stupid of me. I wasn't even in the business. I wasn't anybody, and I was like, hey Larry, I was just like, oh, you're the head of Xbox, or you're the person for Xbox. I was like, you don't really look like the typical gamer, or I don't remember what I said. You don't really look like a gamer. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life. I immediately felt like an idiot and stupid, and he was like, well, what does a gamer look like, Joe? And I was like, then I was like, no, you're right, and I don't know what I was even thinking, and it was just embarrassing for me. And so that's why the very first thing I said was, hey, you remember that one time? I just want to apologize for that. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said in my life. I guess because I didn't know who Larry was, and I thought he was a part of the system, or I thought he was, he wasn't really Larry, but that Larry's Larry. He plays game. He loves games like everybody else. Yeah. So I just had the wrong impression of Larry, and I just wanted to get that clear. I wasn't trying to, I'm not a fucking bigoted towards what gamers should look like. Yeah. My freaking uncle plays video games, and he doesn't look like a gamer,
Yeah,
that was just so stupid. It was something that, like, fucking diarrhea mouth that you say that you didn't even realize that you said, and you're like, you know when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, you're that person, and then you say something stupid.
Yeah, it's like when I applied for BT, and I'm like, don't worry, Joe, I'm not like this crazy stalker.
Yeah, you
dude.
were like, I'm not a creepy dude, or
I'm not
gonna
stalker,
stalk
dude.
you. And I was like,
and
what
then
the
you were
fuck?
just like, dude, I almost didn't hire you because I was so creeped out.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit.
Yeah, you told me multiple times you were not a creeper, which made me go, wait a minute.
This is probably a creep.
Yeah, and you turned out to be one of the fucking coolest guys I know. So.
You know what though, also, Joe, while I was thinking about it, if that was a question that he wouldn't have been comfortable answering, he wouldn't have answered it.
Right. And you know what? Just from what you just said, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
If there's a question they're not comfortable answering about their own console, and because it's a question that a lot of people were asking.
Yeah, they would just tell you, interview over.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is,
But I think that he didn't want to do that because that would make it even bigger. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I
but
guess.
you also have to think though, man. You know that they know that question was going to come up at some point.
They had to have known. How dare them for assuming that people cannot fucking, you know, that nobody was gonna try to ask it.
Yeah. And
That's
so,
kind of arrogant.
But I think it was something that the PR people would have probably been like, hey, here's how to answer this question because it's gonna come up, and if it comes up, here's the best way to handle it.
Yeah,
and if
yeah,
anybody was gonna know how to answer it, Major Nelson's gonna be one of the people. That
Right. So it was good that it was Major Nelson and not somebody else.
Right. It was good that you asked him and not some poor program.
Well, actually, maybe it was bad that it was Major Nelson instead of somebody else, because maybe somebody else would have been like, oh, did it, da, do it.
Here's my prefabricated, prepackaged response.
All right. Oh shit. That's 15-minute parking only.
Find out how much a booth is. Like a 40 by 40 booth.
Crazy.
It's ridiculously expensive.
But I have the money to do it.
I know you probably do, but I don't know if it's worth it. Why? What would you do with the booth?
But see,
We would bring all the developers to our booth.
Yeah,
like
free
Adam
camera
Sessler
setup.
and the Rev 3 machine, all these different GameStop and IGN.
Yeah, see, because it's all about generating.
Yeah, would they even come though?
Honestly,
Well,
They're like, oh, you're nobodies. Why would we come to your booth? You wouldn't even have the contacts in order to do that. See, we as we don't have the same resources as the bigger guys, the IGNs and the GameStops. Yeah, we might have the money, or if because you own a lot of businesses and maybe you can help get the booth, but we don't have the contacts, we don't have the pool. Who would come?
Yeah, but see, all you got to do, or at least to my view of it, you go, hey, by the way, we have a booth in the South Hall of E3 this next year, and we would like to schedule you to come by to speak to our viewers.
Yeah.
And I can easily club it and go, our owner's from Canada, he's opening up, or he's starting a show up in Canada.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 and we would like you to be in the inaugural appearance. We're using E3 to launch the show.
Yeah.
And I can even tell them it's like Channel 10 on a Shaw.
what do you guys want to do? Do you want to do that thing at 6?
So that was it, pretty much every aspect of what my thought process was. So I'm glad that I ultimately did release it because it was no big deal, but I thought it was an interesting discussion to have and to show you guys. So I'm still recovering. I got just a little bit of the con funk, but I will do my best to start to edit these things real quick and get out the rest of the videos for you because the video interviews are awesome and I can't wait to show them to you. So I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.